I don't know if you've heard this, but I heard that.
I've heard everything, sadly, because I'm online 24 hours a day.
I'm sure you heard this. I'm like, hey,
as my wife and kids will say.
We're financing Hamas condoms.
Oh, yes. Oh, of course. So Bassem says to me before the show, he has not watched news or heard news, but of course you heard the Gaza condom story. You got that one. $50 million.
I mean, if I don't hear anything about the news and I hear about condoms.
In Gaza. Gaza, Mozambique, right?
Gaza,
Mozambique. But it goes back to your point earlier. They lie about everything.
Yes.
They not only lied and said we gave $50 million for condoms in Gaza. The next day, Trump takes the lie, goes to the next one and says, not only did they send money to condoms to Gaza, which they didn't, the condoms were used by Hamas to build bombs.
But I love the fact that, like, you know, if genocide doesn't work, we're just going to do it from the source. We're going to give them condoms.
But there's a great irony there. If they were sending condoms, wouldn't that be in line with U.S. and Israeli interests?
Yes.
You would think they'd want to send billions of condoms.
So, in a world of geopolitical comedy, guess who's pitching in with $50 million to send condoms to Gaza? No, it's not a charity drive for a better future, folks. It's the latest mind-blowing example of U.S. foreign policy playing out like a bad episode of The Office. If you thought sending a bunch of condoms to a war zone sounds like a confusing way to promote peace, well, you'd be right. Even Bassem, Youssef, and Mehdi Hasan can't help but crack a few jokes at the sheer irony. Apparently, these condoms weren't just for, well, you know, they were repurposed into bombs by Hamas, apparently. Yup, bombs. Talk about missing the mark. So buckle up, because today's dive into hypocrisy, double standards, and the geopolitical circuits is about to get entertaining, let's just say.
But why are you surprised, Mehdi? Why this is like it's as if we didn't have 4 years of Trump.
No, I'm not surprised. I'm the least surprised person when Trump lies.
He is lying so much you can't keep up with his lies.
No, I agree. I'm not surprised by the lies. What I am surprised by is some of the moves they're making. For example, I was the one saying Elon Musk is going to be shadow president, blah, blah, blah. I don't think I imagined that he would him and his kids who are not old enough to rent a car would be able to walk into US government departments and take over the entire payment system of the richest country in the world. I didn't see that happening. I didn't see him picking a fight with Greenland. I thought he was going to go to war with Iran, not with freaking Denmark.
He picked a fight with Greenland before COVID.
No, before COVID, he said, I want to buy it. Now he's talking about military action. You have the EU say we're going to put EU troops in Greenland to protect from the Americans. That's insanity. Yeah. Some of this stuff is truly, some of the people he's appointing, I worried how bad they would be.
What about like what's happening in the Middle East when they were saying, no, Egypt and Jordan will take them.
He said, I'm going to clean out Gaza.
I'm going to clean out Gaza.
Which was a bit of a shock to some of the Arab American voters who thought he would be great on Gaza. I think that may have come as a reality check.
Guys, those people
like
who
one in 3 Muslims voted for Trump.
Guys, this is crazy. I mean, I don't know.
They said he's a transactional politician. He'll do deals. Yeah, he's doing deals. He wants beachfront property in Gaza, condos. Jared Kushner wants condos in Gaza.
Well, here's the thing.
Not condoms, condos.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it.
Here's the thing. If the people who said that he's a transactional politician, I mean, yes, he is. He already took $90 million from Miriam Adelson, and he told him, like, annex it. Don't you see that?
Yes,
the thing
exactly.
So until Muslims and Arabs find another job other than selling vapes, you cannot compete with that.
Well, no, but that's funny because there are Arab governments that have that money. MBS is giving $500 billion, but he's not asking for Palestinian rights in return.
Guys. I don't know. Again, Arab countries, they're again transactional.
Yeah, they don't care about Palestinians. By the way, I got to ask the question about the fake. I think you and I both agree the fake ceasefire, right? It's not a real ceasefire.
The fake ceasefire.
But who do you think gets credit for the fake ceasefire? Because Joe Biden says it was my deal and I got it. Then Trump comes in. I get a bunch of people telling me, both right-wing or MAGA people and like some Muslim people telling me, Mehdi, you need to give credit to Trump. He went there, he bashed Netanyahu, he made him do it. I think Netanyahu and him were in on it from the beginning. This was always Netanyahu's gift to him for the inauguration.
Yeah, but what does it mean? What does it matter? What does it matter? We just said it's fake.
And the West Bank's on fire.
It's like you telling me who gets the fake for this? Who gets the credit for this fake diamond ring? It just
who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, so true.
It's fake.
Yes. You agree? It's fake, and you think Netanyahu was in on it.
It doesn't matter, man. Yes, it doesn't matter.
Because there was all these reporting. I don't know if you saw, but a lot of reporting in the Israeli press was Steve Witkoff, who's Trump's real estate guy, who's now his Middle East envoy. He went and he made Netanyahu come out on the Sabbath and meet with him, and he said, "You better do the deal." And Netanyahu did it. That's all. I think that's bullshit. The idea that Netanyahu just got intimidated by Trump, I just don't buy it.
And then Israel went into Jenin and just like destroyed it. And the reason I know that, and the reason I know about Jenin is that on my stand-up comedy tour, I had a stand-up comedian, Palestinian stand-up comedian from Jenin, and he was telling me.
I got to say, you were ahead of a lot of people on one very specific point. When you went on that infamous Piers Morgan episode shortly after October the 7th, You had this mic drop moment where you said, if it's all about Hamas, how do you explain the West Bank?
Let's for a minute imagine a world without Hamas.
Right.
What will this world look like? Let's give this word a name, and let's name this word the West Bank. Hamas has absolutely no control in the West Bank, and since the beginning of this year, only through August, 37 Palestinian kids were killed. No music festival, no paragliding, no Hamas.
I'll always remember that moment. And sadly, tragically, that is front and center right now, because while pausing in Gaza, they've escalated in the West Bank, exactly as some of us predicted. And of course, Hamas does not control the West Bank. October 7th did not come out of the West Bank, and yet they are killing, I think, 24 people in Jenin in recent weeks, hundreds of children since October the 7th, over 100 children. The West Bank is on fire.
And there's another part of the interview that you forget. When I said, like, they're going to go into a vast land of Sinai, wink, wink.
Yeah.
They're going to put it in 10 cities, and then they're going to go back, wink, wink. And I said that. And I called it out from the very beginning.
I remember when Piers Morgan said to me once when I went on, he said to me, well, if they're not fighting Hamas, what do you think their real aim is? As if I'm some mad conspiracy theorist. And I said, depopulate Gaza. That's the aim of the operation. Now you have the President of the United States saying, clean them out, and Egypt and Jordan have to take them.
And I told Piers, it's like they're going to do the same in West Bank. I said, no, it's not going to happen. But this is the thing about, like, all of those people, they just, like, buy time. It's like, oh, it's not happening.
And it
The
is
war
happening.
is not happening. The killing is not happening.
I mean, there's people dying as we speak in the West Bank. It's not a top story. It is not a front page story. I mean, to be fair to the media, and you know I'm very critical of the media, they're busy covering a constitutional coup in the United States that's happening in front of our eyes. But the West Bank violence was predicted and predictable.
Yes, and they think it's like, oh, we have a ceasefire. You don't have to talk about it anymore. Let's continue killing in the Gaza. You see, that's the whole idea. It's like, why are we talking about Gaza? There's a ceasefire. There's not. No, there's a ceasefire.
But isn't it interesting that for 16 months, I can't even keep track anymore of this genocide. When you and I have done media on this subject, the number one issue that's come up is, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a ceasefire on October the 7th.
Oh, yes.
Well, this is really interesting because this is what they call a ceasefire. We
Yes.
get to carry on killing you sporadically, out of sight of the cameras. It's a ceasefire.
Not with a 2,000 pounds bomb, but occasionally.
Although he's released, by the way, Donald Trump has released the
Yeah,
2,000. The one thing Joe Biden did, the one small thing he did in 16 months, he released a 2,000 pound bomb.
Let's talk about what Joe Biden did, because this is important.
Please do.
How many times during the massacres and the genocide after October 7th have you had Biden freezing weapon equipment to Israel and then releasing it? How many times did that happen?
I can't remember.
Many times. It was like, okay, no more weapons. Okay, weapons.
Yeah.
No more. So you see, that's the difference between Trump and Biden. Again, it's just the honesty. It's not the right word to use, but it's the
bluntness,
the honesty of
the
being
directness. Well, it's interesting because they asked Trump, how come you're releasing these weapons? You know what he said?
What?
Because they paid for them. That's what he said.
Oh yes,
He said because they paid for them.
They did.
He's very, very blunt. Bassem, we talk about Trump and he's honest and everything else. I mean, the funny thing about Trump, which I know you've done a lot of great stand-up. I came to see your show last year in DC, and you talk a lot about the Trump first term and how you became a citizen
Yes.
and the craziness of the Trump era. What I find about Trump 2.0 is everything's heightened. Like the evil is worse, the lies are worse, the violence is worse, the crazy people are worse. The cult is worse,
Yes.
right? They really worship this guy. And, people talk about Arab countries patronizing. As you say,
He's
it's
the
not like
second coming of Jesus.
He's worse than that. Have a look at this clip. I want to play a clip of some of the stuff how they talk about Trump now on the
Okay.
right.
I'm glad Trump's here at the moment. It's like daddy arrived and he's taking his belt off,
When they see peace starting to break out again around the world, they're going to be like, this is the stability that we were asking for. Daddy's back. And that's what you're going to see.
There has to be a point at which Dad comes home. And when Dad gets home, you know what he says? You've been a bad girl. You've been a bad little girl, and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now.
Donald Trump is daddy for these people. What is going on in their minds that they think this freak from New York, this property developer, is this great authoritarian god king?
Here's the thing. I think Tucker Carlson, when he said, like, daddy is home, and you know what's going to say? You've been a bad girl and you need some spanking. I think that they all think I'm talking about a sugar daddy. I think they want to be paid and spanked and tied down.
It's
and
very weird. It's something going on there. They all need to have a lot of time with counselors. This is the president of the United States. They've turned him into some weird cult leader.
He might be the president of the United States for you, but for me, he's daddy.
Well, I know you've not been following the news.
You don't speak about daddy this
That's
way.
a very important geopolitical development
You
that I had
do
to
not
get your
speak
take on.
about daddy this way.
Do you know of any other people in the world who talk about their leader in this way?
Arab countries. Yeah, seriously. When you
Sisi
but
daddy?
not all of the Arab leaders is like if you go against him, he's like your dad.
But even
He's
that,
like-
but even that is more like,
No, but
like
this
a
is
father figure, like a guide, not like
th- th-
spanking
th-
belt
this
off
is-
bullshit.
I feel that he's not just like our dad, he's our pimp.
By the way, I had another good line from Trump, which is a really chilling line. To go back to your point about honesty, in an age of authoritarianism, I don't know if you saw the press conference where a reporter says to Trump, "Do you think Mark Zuckerberg is, rolling over for you and doing what you want now because you threatened him?" And any other Western leader would say, "Of course, I never threatened him." Trump said, "Yeah, probably."
Say it.
Do you think he's directly responding to the threats that you have made to him in the past? With
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Quiet part loud, yeah. probably.
The guy is reveling
mob
into
boss.
the power,
The mob boss.
but America has been like mob boss
Yeah,
forever.
but he's the open mob boss.
Yes, he's just being open about
What
it.
do you make-
like this is different.
Does it?
Obama's
sorry
like,
to ask you the cliche question. Does it remind you of an Arab country under a mob boss dictator type?
no.
Go on.
No. He actually, he just reminds me of like being a very honest warlord.
Okay.
Because even the Arab countries just like play along. It's like,
That's
no,
true.
no. But he's just like open about
Yeah,
it.
he's doing even less pretenses than it.
Obama bombed the shit out of Muslims, but he was loved by everybody because he was just like nice.
There you have it, folks. We've gone from condom chaos to political clownery, but let's not lose sight of the real issues here. First off, Bassem and Mehdi nailed it. Let's be real. Trump's double standards are so blatant. It's almost like he's handing out rule books just to show us how to break them. Whether it's weapon deals or pushing peace plans that no one asked for, the hypocrisy is so thick you could cut through it with a knife. And speaking of hypocrisy, let's not forget our dear friend Piers Morgan, the man who claims to have all the answers but somehow never seems to have the courage to face his own contradictions. It's like watching a man argue with a mirror that refuses to agree with him. But perhaps the most unsettling point, one that hits closer to home, is what's happening in West Bank. The media might be pretending it's not happening, but the truth of the violence there is escalating drastically, and it's getting ignored. If you really care about peace in the region, we need to start asking the hard questions about why we're so focused on one area while another is burning. The West Bank is on fire, the settlers are on a rampage, and until we start giving it the attention it deserves, those in power will continue to feed us the same false narratives. So don't let the distractions fool you. The real story here isn't about the next political tweet, it's about how we're letting the truth slip through our fingers while the world continues to burn. Stay sharp, stay skeptical, and as always, keep questioning everything. Until next time, folks, don't forget to like, share, and hit that bell icon. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.